by becoming rich.
Take all your money, buy Bitcoin.
You can wake up every morning and say GM.
GM. Today is Saturday. And it's the 27th of July. And we have Bitcoin rising up here with a large volume divergence after the last push here. Push again with weaker volume, push again with weaker volume, push again with weaker volume. So probably some form of pullback is due at this point. And I would look at the most recent support as being a likely area for price to visit if it's able to pull back into that. So we're looking at here. I would like to see price come down and sweep these lows, and that's something I'll talk about on Trade of the Day. But let's zoom out because we've got the Bitcoin conference today. There might actually be some trades to be had on a Saturday, believe it or not. Now, zoomed out, this candle close is confirmation to me that we're going to 70k, right? Closing back inside of this previous value area. So everything from the top where the market looked like it was basically choosing between bull and bear. You had it over here. You had the market moving up, holding at the bands, looking like it's going to go for a breakout, then broke the opposite direction, broke down, turning that into a distribution. And so to reclaim the distribution and go higher, you'd have to get back inside the old value area low, which is right here, which we did last week, and then we rejected off it initially. Nice strong bounce back into it, another close inside, which to me would mean a target of the value area high. Also, when you zoom out, the March to July daily value area, we reclaim that daily value area low. Target would be the value area high, which is just up here. I mean, we're going to hit that pretty easily, in my opinion. We're going to hit that 69,178. And question is then, do we get a pullback before then? Any kind of pullback, any form of pullback before then, down into this previous value area low, which we've just reclaimed? Maybe not. Maybe price has to go up first, touch off all that, and then come back down and form some kind of, further reaccumulation back down into the gap, and away we go again, and price has to then chop along before it breaks higher. So looking at both eventualities, both possibilities. The stronger side, the side I would be more inclined to follow, would be up, not down, because we tried to go down. After trying to reclaim that value area, we rejected initially, went down, unable to find any follow through to the downside, and then moved back up. So that's a very strong sign for me. And with that strong close through the level yesterday and staying above 67, I think that more likely than not we go higher. And that's BTC. ETH had it selling after ETF launch, consolidation day, nothing worth writing home about. Solana, much stronger. Solana, the perfect value area high retest, holding. It's now looking to push to break out above 188. Basically, when price broke out of the value area high, 172, and that's what I've talked about for several weeks, mentioned that basically getting above 172 should lead to a new yearly high, and Solana seems set to do that, probably relatively soon. And check in quickly on the flows from yesterday. We had low flows again for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's several days or a couple of weeks of high inflows have been replaced now just by pretty low flows. As ETH, another outflow day. As Grayscale, just sell and sell and sell. Pretty structured type of selling, 1.5 billion already. ETH's doing pretty well to hold up under the weight of that pressure. I think if you'd said that there was going to be at 1.5 billion outflow on Ethereum, and then from day one, the open was here 3.4 and we're down at 3.2, ETH is down. 1.5 billion of outflows has taken ETH down 5%. It's not bad, to be honest, right? And you still have plenty of room you can go down when you're down into support, and support should hold. So wouldn't have, I wouldn't say that's the worst. Wouldn't be massively concerned by that. So Bitcoin conferences today, well, it's been going on for several days, but of course nothing moves the market at the Bitcoin conference because, it's a $1.3 trillion asset and has been around for a decade plus, and there's been dozens of conferences. So the actual conference is never going to move the price, not anymore. It used to. Unless you have the former president who's just been shot and is on a comeback tour and is talking good about crypto and is a lead up to the election and wants to be pro-Bitcoin. So Trump is going to speak today. One interesting thing as well, RFK said that he would, if I was president, I would make a Bitcoin reserve of 4 million Bitcoin and blah, blah, blah. And I would appoint Michael Saylor as Treasury Secretary. Obviously, he's just playing to the crowd. He's just playing for cheap votes or claps or laughs or whatever. He's not even going to run in the race, right? I don't think he's even going to run as an independent. Him and Trump seem to be pretty tight. You've seen that leaked phone call where he talks to Trump, and Trump mentions that he wants him to do something with vaccines or whatever when he's in the administration. So I think that RFK would probably behind the scenes has already agreed with Trump that he will have some kind of position in his government. And the condition for that would be dropping out. Because if he runs, he's going to take some votes away from Trump. He might take some away from the other side as well, but if he runs, some people who would have voted for Trump will vote for RFK, and it's a wasted vote. So pretty sure he'll drop out. And that's important because then he will most likely endorse Trump. And that will put a lot of kind of independents over onto Trump's side, and a lot of the Bitcoin crowd, because RFK is definitely much more pro-Bitcoin. I think he said most of his net worth is in Bitcoin, and he's gone fully orange pilled. And so that would be a big endorsement. And then today Trump's going to talk. It's actually, I think it's a keynote speech. I was going to be doing a live stream for it, but I can't. It's too late and I have to be somewhere. It would have to be at like 9-10 p.m. my time. I just can't do that when he's speaking live. So we'll just have a live stream at the normal time. But I will be keeping an eye on Trump's speech. How is it going to affect the market? There'll be some volatility for sure, depending on what he says and when he says it. But don't expect it to be a lasting thing, right? So let's say he says Bitcoin strategic reserve, yes, and we pump. We will pump, and we'll probably pump to 69 or pump to 70. We will then come back to that level pretty quickly, right? That news is not going to be like any earth-shattering news. So if you're trading around it, understand that it's a short-term thing. It's kind of the expectation and not knowing what he's going to say. Also remember, a lot of this is going to be priced in, right? If you're looking at here's, we're right at the weekly open. We're actually just below the weekly open. So we're still technically having a red week. If you look at the weekly, still technically on a red week. By the way, this week doesn't need to close green, right? After 2 strong weeks like we've had, having some consolidation would be totally normal. And when you zoom it all the way back in, whatever happens today with Trump and announcements or non-announcements, whatever, don't forget that a lot of the Trump stuff is priced in. It's been priced in since over here, whenever he got shot. And as soon as people realized he didn't die, immediately his poll numbers increased. And then for the next several days, it was all Trump's taking over, let's fucking go. So the pricing in has been going on since 58, and we're now at 68. So we've priced in, 10K, almost 20%, about 16% higher in price. And there's not a lot that there's not a lot he can say that will shock the market in a positive sense. He can confirm about this Bitcoin strategic reserve, which would be big. More likely, I would say that he'll just say it's a possibility, and he'll say the usual good things. No one's more pro Bitcoin than me. I'm going to protect your Bitcoin. The Democrats want to take your Bitcoin, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're looking at today. And that's about it. I'll know more, obviously, tomorrow on Weekly Outlook and looking ahead at the week to come. We'll have a better idea with what he said and what the implications of that are going to be. And next week we also have the end of the month, end of July, going into August. So we'll be ready for all that. Today, 4 p.m. UTC, usual time, live stream. See you then. GM. it.